Okay, so welcome to my car. This is my first ever video blog, and I'm doing it from my car. Why am I doing it from my car, you might ask? Well, it's a great question, and I have a great answer for you. The biggest reason is I just got a brand new GoPro, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to set it up Top Gear style and, you know, drive around like maybe I'm in a $300,000 supercar. I'm in a $40,000 Volt, but you get this sort of idea behind that. But the real reason is because I've been wanting to do blogging for years now. In fact, that was one of my New Year's resolutions last year, and I never got around to it because I never find the time to do it. I'm just partly lazy, but the reality is I spend an hour and a half on my car every day. So why not use some of that time to do this instead of sitting at a keyboard typing? I can just stream of conscious type or say witty things that will certainly go viral and make me an internet celebrity. So that's the main reason. The vlog, I guess I should start calling it, is going to be basically a vlog about nothing. I'm going Seinfeld style with this, and I'm just going to make it kind of whatever I want it to be about. There's no theme. It's not going to be about dogs. It's not going to be about stupid cat videos. It's not going to be political rants. It's just going to be me talking about whatever's on my mind and yelling at a couple fellow drivers while I'm at it. So, for those of you not familiar, I'm living in Fullerton and working in Long Beach, so I'm about to get on the 91 freeway right now, which has got to be one of the worst drives in LA County. It's a narrow, 3-lane wide freeway that ultimately leads me to the 710, which is definitely the worst drive in LA County because it's where all the trucks go to the port. So it's a nasty, nasty piece of freeway. The good news is, right now it's 8:30. I got a late start today. The Super Bowl's yesterday. I'll get into that later. But decided to take a little longer to get ready today, so the traffic should be a little bit lighter. And I'm kind of clipping along at 52. One thing you'll notice if you watch this enough is I drive like a grandpa. I'm going to admit it right now. It's not because I'm a grandpa. I'm not, although I'm old enough to be, but mainly because I have this Volt that rewards me for driving slowly. So when I drive slowly, I get more miles out of my charge, and that's less money out of the oil company's into the oil company's pocket. So I like to drive slowly, get as much out of my battery charge as I can. So anyways, let's see, what should I talk about? So blog about nothing, got that covered. It's going to be kind of a sports theme vlog, I think, today, because there's a lot going on this weekend. And I'm going to sort of take you through my weekend as it relates to sports, chronologically speaking. So I wake up Saturday morning, and I'm a big soccer fan, which means if you live in the West Coast and you follow English football, or soccer as we call it, it means you get an early start. And games start out here at like 4:35 in the morning, but I didn't wake up that early. I did get up at 7:15 though, and started watching my club from the British Premier League, which is Liverpool Football Club. They started at 7 a.m., which I guess is probably about 3 or so in England. But it's a good way to start the game. But the point I want to make is that when your team wins, and mine did, 2-0, they beat, who did they beat this week? West Ham United at home. It's sort of a sloppy game. You know, it could have gone either way, but a win is a win. But the point I want to make is this. When your team wins, it really puts you in a good mood. When your team loses, it puts you in a really crappy mood. And I'm going to be the first to admit it. And those who are closest to me know that when my teams lose, mainly like USC, Trojans, when they're playing football, Liverpool, I get kind of cranky and not really fun to be around. So it's always good for those people around me, and for me in particular, when my weekend starts with a team victory. So hats off to Liverpool for setting my weekend in motion on the right foot. 2-0, as they say in Britain, over West Ham United. They should have won. They did win. And the good news is, while they're only in, I think, 7th right now in the British Premier League table, they're only about 5 points out of 4th, which is really kind of the goal. For those of you who don't know soccer, particularly British football, English football, the real goal, other than winning, is to finish in the top 4. I'll talk about that, why that is in a later vlog. So that was a good setup to my weekend. Then, the rest of that day was spent kind of cleaning up for a Super Bowl party we had yesterday. Then I brought my GoPro, which is the other highlight of Saturday. So I'm using it now. I've even figured out how to film upside down so you can see this. So I'm pretty excited about that. And ultimately, I'm going to figure out how to make tons of money off of the internet through a vlog or some other such thing and become a viral sensation. You know, the person who makes the most money off of YouTube makes $4 million a year opening up gifts or opening up packages. It's a crazy world out there. So I don't know if I'm gonna ever make $4 million, but if I make a little bit, I'll be pretty happy with that. But I'll get greedy eventually and want more, I'm sure. So Saturday was pretty much a non-event other than those two things. Yesterday, though, Sunday, was the big day because of the Super Bowl. But before that, my other big club that I follow in international futebol, as they say in Brazil, is FC Barcelona, Football Club Barcelona. And they played a pretty exciting game against a Villarreal club. The final score was 3-2. I would say Barcelona were pretty lucky to come away with the win, although they've been winning a lot lately. This was not one of their better wins, mainly because they had to rely on, well, frankly, they got away with one. A penalty that probably should have been called, it wasn't. And, of course, they, you know, it's hard to complain about a 3-2 win, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say I was happy that they won. And that led pretty much right into the Super Bowl, so I'm going to spend a few moments talking about that game because it was a fantastic game in the end. The first quarter, God, what a dud. It was 7-7 after the first quarter, and the Patriots basically had the ball almost the entire quarter. As football games go, it was not an exciting one, that's for sure. But I guess as they say in sports, it's how you finish. And the ending was pretty fantastic. I'm not necessarily a Seahawks fan. I live in LA, so I don't really have a club, a football team that I follow outside of USC. But I've kind of adopted them recently. They're winners, so that's always nice and easy. Maybe it's a bandwagon effort, I don't know. But the other thing is, Pete Carroll's our coach. They got a lot of USC players, so they're sort of like an extension of the USC Trojan family. So I've kind of been following them since last year when they made their run to win the Super Bowl. So I was rooting for the Seahawks, is basically what I'm trying to tell you here. And the other thing is, I really dislike Tom Brady. I'm going to scooch over here into the carpool lane because I can. I have a Chevy Volt. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Tom Brady. He's a winner for sure. He's probably the best quarterback ever to play, certainly in the Super Bowl. But he's just got a smugness about it that I just dislike. And those guys over there in New England, they like to bend the rules. And I'm more of a believer that if you can't win fair and square, then we're not really doing well. But that aside, I was rooting for the Seahawks, and boy, the way they gave that game away was almost heartbreaking, even if you're not a fan. Well, almost heartbreaking if you're not a fan, and I'm sure has led to a few very long evenings for Seahawks fans. It's still mind-boggling to know that you've got probably the best running back in the NFL, and you have at least 3 plays you can run from the 2-yard line, and you throw the ball instead, and then your Super Bowl and your season, and a fantastic run on a boneheaded play call. Now, the good news is, as somebody pointed out on Twitter, it basically puts aside the 4th and 1 call in the 2000, I think it was 6-5 Rose Bowl BCS championship game, Texas. Now, it wasn't the Rose Bowl because it wasn't played here. Anyways, Texas, might have been the Orange Bowl. Texas and USC, BCS game, probably the greatest football game ever played. But USC could have put that game away. They had a 4th and 1, and Reggie Bush, or I'm sorry, Lendale, one of the two, I think it was Reggie Bush, was not even on the field. They hand the ball off to Lendale White. Everybody in the stadium knew who was getting it, and they got stuffed. Texas gets the ball, scores a touchdown, win the game. Last time USC's even come close to a BCS championship game. So that, for all this time, has always been the worst sort of critical down call I've ever seen. And now I think it's been eclipsed by this one, so I can feel some relief because of that. Nevertheless, it was an entertaining game. I had a lot of fun. The commercials, I gotta say, it was kind of a down year, I think, for commercials this year. The ones that stand out, and I don't even remember them all, partly because I was hosting a party, had about a dozen people over, and we were outside. It was kind of noisy. The TV, it was late afternoon, there was some glare, kind of hard to see at times. But the ones that stand out in my mind as the most entertaining, and these are in no particular order, I really liked the Morphe juice pack commercial, which is the one where the world feels like it's ending when your phone battery dies. as a commercial was pretty funny. The other one that I thought was really funny was the world's first draft, where Mexico chose the avocado as its number one draft choice, which was pretty hilarious on a number of levels. I don't know what that had to do with sports, choosing an avocado, but it was a brilliant sort of a brilliant way to highlight basically what is the national crop besides marijuana, perhaps. So that was a good one. Well, that Loctite commercial, that was kind of bizarre, but it kind of still made me laugh. It was so bizarre. I have to say, that Nationwide commercial with the kid who didn't make it through 7th grade or 7 years old or whatever it was, that was a major bummer. Maybe you just want to kind of curl up and cry. I don't know who greenlighted that one, but that person needs to be probably updating their LinkedIn page today, because that's not a good way to make a name for yourself. So, commercials, I would say not the best I've seen, not the best effort, okay, at the end of the day. None were so memorable that everybody's going to want to be talking about them, except maybe that Nationwide one. I've heard a lot of people talking about that already in the news. But other than that, it was kind of a down year for the commercials. I don't know how much money the NFL got for those, but I think they got the better end of the deal. So I think that's kind of all I was going to talk about today. I'm only halfway through my drive. I've got about 15 minutes to go, but I'm not going to just bore you with talking about how wide open the freeway is at the moment. I am enjoying a nice, I won't say how fast I'm going, but I'm not going below the speed limit. So that's kind of nice. That's one of the benefits of waiting until later in the day to leave, that's for sure. You can see the other side of the freeway a little bit more crowded, but so far so good. It's a Monday. Not looking forward to a long week again, but it should be an easy day today, so I'm not going to complain too much. Anyways, I think I'm going to call it quits for now. If I think of anything witty to say, I'll bring you back online. See you guys later.